back. It's JD. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe. Please hit like if you actually like it. And then we're going to continue on working on the Billy watch. I call it the Billy watch only because it was my friend Billy's watch. So there you go, the Billy watch. So we've got the movement together now, and I'm producing the video as we're speaking because I've got a new 4090 video card and a AMD, what is it? An AMD 7800 X3D chip. This computer is crazy. So I've got myself 3 screens, and as you've seen in other videos, that's for flight simulation. So right now I'm not doing that. So I'm just going to take this balance. I'm going to take this balance off just by unscrewing this here and very carefully poking the stud out, and then I'm going to wash this balance in. I'll wash this balance in lighter fluid. So I got my screwdriver in there nice and easy, but I don't want to screw anything up, so I'm trying to make sure I get the right screwdriver here, and I'm not going to foul anything. I hold that balance nice and steady as I grab my screwdriver and turn it. There we go. So I just turn that screw here, and I should be able to just poke the stud right out. There we go. So the stud is out. Long live the stud. Move that around. And there we go. There it is. So now I'm going to throw this whole thing into a bath. So, and I'm going to make sure it doesn't get ruined in any way. So I'm going to just put some lighter fluid into a bath, and away we go. So I'm going to use this container here as my bath for the lighter fluid, but I don't want the pivot from the balance to go down and hit anything that's hard. So what I'm going to do is fashion a little bit of a breaker on the bottom of this thing. I'm just going to cut this into a circle here and see if I can put that in, and it just has to be in the middle, so I'm not too concerned. But I would really want to protect that pivot from the bottom of this metal container. So let me see if I can. Does that fit? I think it does. There we go. Now it does mean I got to put a little more lighter fluid in there than I really want to, but too bad. So there it is in the bottom. So that's going to help save the pivot from actually touching the bottom. But I didn't want that to happen. So this should work nicely. So now I've got to fill this up with lighter fluid and get myself all wet. There we go. Now that's filled with lighter fluid. And I know that lighter fluid does not impact the shellac of a balance. So the guy who told me that was Big Black Shellac told me that. So a long time ago I did this, and let me put this in the lighter fluid here, get this out of the way. A long time ago I had a balance with a really gummed up hairspring, and I threw that into here, and so that it's just sitting in there right now like that, and I'm just going to let this rest in there. So it's just sitting in the lighter fluid, and I'll let this rest, and then I'll agitate it later on. I'll just yell at it and call it names. That'll agitate it considerably, and that will clean off the balance. That's Clint Eastwood said that, right? It's a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world. Blow your head clean off. I'll be right back. I'm going to go make myself a coffee while this is percolating. Alright, I'm back. It's been almost 40 minutes. So here we got 1,000 sheets of lintless tissue watch paper, stock number 55. Oh yeah. Take you forever to get to the bottom of this box, by the way. So feel free to grab as much as you want, but I'm going to rest this down a bit, so I want probably I'm going to use 2 pieces of watch paper and I'm going to forple them over so they're not going to get my mat all yucky. Using very technical terms today, so there you go. Don't forget to tune in when you see the J.D. Richard, Chris Spinner blog video, and we got our special guest, I Shoot Watches. So I think we've got another gentleman going to join us as well. I invited 2, so we got Hollywood squares. We got them all filled up, I believe, this time. So there you go. I do think I say so a lot. So there's the infamous balance in the hole, egg in the hole, balance in the hole. I probably don't need to agitate this very much because it's been in here for quite a while. Usually the scum comes right off if there's any. There probably wasn't any. But this is a good way of just making sure, because I recall cleaning a pocket watch a long time ago and thinking that I gotta grab this here nice and easily here. I cleaned the pocket watch and the spring, the hairspring, was stuck together, all stuck together, and I was peeved because I thought it was slow for another reason, or I thought it was causing issues for another reason, but it wasn't. It was the stupid gum between the leaves and the hairspring, so I did not know. So I'm just going to very carefully squirt a little bit of air on this. So I'm going to move my camera even a little closer. How's that? What a brave guy I am. So I'm going to do it live. Look at that. Live camera moving. I wish I could get this camera even higher up. If I did this or that, how do I get that higher up? It's almost going to fall though. If I stick some Rodico in the leg, will that do it? Probably. There's Rodico stuck on the leg. Gives me more distance here, but with safety in mind. There. How's that? How is that? That is pretty close, but I gotta make sure that this thing doesn't fall. So maybe the best thing to use would be a paper clip on the back end. It's a weight and balance issue, just like on aircraft. I just keep squirting away at this thing, and eventually the hairspring will be free of stuff. Just open it up like this now. And don't squirt it too much because you don't want to ruin the hairspring. The hairspring is my favorite spring. There we go. That's not bad right there. So I think I'm just going to set this aside now. It looks like it's pretty much done. That looks really good. Have a look at the coils. Look really nice, right? Those are exceptional coils on the hairspring. I'm just going to move this and the watch out of the way, and we're going to get ready to put this thing together again. Now this is my favorite job of all. This is getting the making sure I get the jewel. Watch that. You gotta watch that. You gotta watch those 2 regulator pins because you can screw them up really easily. So I want to get the jewels out of here. There's one. Of course, both my tweezers are over on the other side of the camera. There's one screw, one little screw. I'm going to put that way out of the way. Remember in my ute, I got screws stuck to my arm so many times. I'm like, how come these screws are stuck to my, what's these screws doing stuck to my arm? There we This screwdriver here is really nice. The only problem is the part that touches your finger doesn't rotate. Doesn't want to rotate. There we go. What would be really nice now is if I could lift this thing up. I doubt it, but I think I'm going to have to punch it out from the other side. It's nice when sometimes the cap comes off. There's a little mark here for a needle, and I do have a needle. And when you're really lucky, that needle will fit in there and the cap will come off, but I don't think I'm lucky. No, there's no luck in my life. Anyway, that's a good little witness mark, so what I'm going to do is push this out the other way, because I have no choice. And to push it out, I like to use a punch really carefully and push it out. That way I've got some control over it, right? And let me grab a punch here that would be the right size for this. Nothing too big, nothing too small. Again, just the size of Montreal. Is that too big or too small? It might be too small, I'm not sure. That's not bad there. So I want to put it over a hole where it's supported on all sides. It's almost all the way out. This thing is finicky as hell. I need a punch that's a little longer. I just want to make sure I don't have the punch over the jewel, because then that will push the jewel out, cause me all kinds of angst. There we go. It's pushed out. And there's the settings in the bottom here. I might be able to use this later. I'm going to get rid of this here for now, and as they work away. Now I want to separate the jewel setting from the cap. Turn the cap over, and I want to clean the cap off. And there's really all oil in there, but I know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to toss it in the bath. Now the only problem I'm going to have is getting it back out again. So let's just toss it in and be brave. I must be brave. There. 2 screws in a bath. No, it's 2 settings in a bath. It sounds like a book. And now I will go in there with my little brush, and I will try to brush these settings. This is going to be almost impossible. I'm telling you right now. But at least I'm moving them around. And they're going underneath that piece of cardboard I put in there, which I might lift out for the purpose of getting at the settings. You are getting play-by-play today like you've never gotten before. And you're wishing that you never got it before. I'm going to grab this piece of cardboard here. This is faux leather. I'm doing this for you. So funny. I'm going to put this up here, and hopefully it doesn't dissolve the paint on my magnifying glass, my stereo microscope paint. I'm going to just pull these out now and put them on the watch paper. And one, and then put this on the watch paper, and then move this out of the way so it doesn't blow up. And I'm going to take the balance off the watch paper. I'm sorry you can't see anything right now, but there is the balance. I'm going to just put it aside right now, nice and easy. And grab the watch paper nice and easy with the jobby doohickeys and just move them around until they dry. Thingamajobby doohickeys. A big shout out to Ed Horn. Ed is a funny guy. I remember a few times he's told me that he said a few things over the years that have been pretty friggin' funny. And as he knows, I did his watch years ago. Worked my butt off cleaning it. And he was a nice guy, so he appreciated all the work. I got my Tim Hortons wages because watch repair work, you do not get paid for the amount of hours you put in or the skills. I'm telling you, I'm gonna want it to say. I know that for a fact. That's why it has to remain a hobby. Otherwise, it's a vocation and you're going to get mad. Man, this is not good. I cleaned that other one off. So that looks pretty good there. Now what I need to do is get my little puffer out. I need to puff these things while I'm holding it to get to dry off the lighter fluid. This is so exciting. Now let me see if I can tell you stories here while I'm working away. Well, I'll tell you what, my wife has been actively putting up Christmas decorations, and we currently now have the Griswold home because she's put decorations friggin' everywhere. She has a lot of decorations up. So we're officially the Griswold home. I'm impressed by how many things she's even found to put up. It's amazing. Don't have to worry about the other side here because it doesn't touch anything. So when we have the grandchildren over for Christmas, they will be amused and impressed and duly impressed by the amount of decorations that have been applied to our household for Christmas. My wife and I already have our Christmas presents, so I bought my computer and she bought a drum set because you never know when the next Beatles reunion is going to happen and they say, hey, we're looking for a drummer. And she goes, well, what do you know? I drum. So I'm going to put this setting back. I got to make sure I put it the right way. The whole part. Alright, so that is the bottom, or the top rather. That's the top. That is the bottom, because the bottom's got the little tiny hole in it. So you want to put it in so that the flat part is on the top. I gotta find a gotta make sure I don't crush the regulator pins when I'm doing this. That's oh so important. Impotent. Let's see, I think I can use the flat part of this to start off with. It sort of is down now, so now I gotta find something to push it even further in. This is a tough part. You don't want to break the jewel, right? So you want to press it down without compromising the jewel at all. It's a bit tricky because the jewel is right in the center, and you want to find a stake that's going to go around the jewel and not or around the setting, but not touch the jewel. So the stake kind of with a hollow in it like that, this sometimes works well. Let's have a look at it here. It's a little cruddy, but you want to push it down. Now I could use a jeweling set, right? But this will get it started anyway. I need one that's just a little bit smaller than this so it can fit down into the hole. So I'm just going to leave the old computer on running away while I chat my butt off as I tell you what to do. As I tell you what to do. Let me see, is that, see what that looks like. No, that's not the right one. That is not the right one. You're getting live action from away. Is that the right one? Nope, that's not the right one. Let me see. Why don't I just get a flashlight out, you idiot? And pick one that's gonna work. Pick it with a flashlight. Is that the right one? No, that's not the right one. Jeez. Trying to find concave. Oh, there's one here. It might be the right one. Is this the right one? Oh, come on. Get out. Get out. Oot. Oot. This might be the right one. Here it is. Here. I've got other staking sets too that I could go to, but I can also push it down with a piece of pegwood as well. So. Just want to make sure I'm not punching anything that doesn't need to be punched. Yeah. I may use the other jewel to push this down. What do you think? That's an unusual way of doing it. I don't know if I want to do that. A jewel pushing down a jewel. What do you think? I want to see where the witness mark is. Well, that's not working. This thing's in pretty tight. Pretty tight, I tell you, folks. It's in pretty damn tight. I'm going to have to push it back out from the other side now, because it was in way too tight. So there you go. So this could take some time. I'll be back. Alright, what we're going to do is use a Seats jeweling set, because I'm going to do it the right way. So I've got my Seats jeweling set. I got the plunger, the arm. The arm goes on like this, I believe, something like this. And the plunger. And then I've got all of these jeweling attachments. This is what I should have been using in the first place. So I can use a stump and one of the concave jeweling sets here, like one of this one here maybe. Let's see. So what I can do is I look at what I need to do here and see how round that is. See, that's too small. So I can go bigger. Go bigger or go home. It's a good little jeweling set, so one of these will work. That might work there. I just don't want the pressure to be on the jewel itself. I want it to be on the edge of the jewel. So when I put that in, is that, I think that's on the edge. I can just push that down. It's almost already down, all the way down now. What the heck? It is. Maybe just by doing that, I pushed it down. Well, we just back this up and let's have a shot at it. So what I have here is a failure to communicate. No. What I have here is I got to put this stump or this stake inside of this holder so it looks like that, right? And then place it in here. And now I've got that. And then I need to get a stump, the right stump. I love that word, stump. And I want to make sure the stump, this stump here, this can rest on the stump and not cause any problem with the jobby doohickeys. So don't think this one will work, because the stump will go in this way like that, and the regulating pins will be in the way, so I don't want this stump. That is a shitty stump. This stump, however, might be perfect. So if I look at the stump here from the bottom, it's got plenty of stump room. The regulating pins are not in the way at all. And there we go. And I can take this now and do it properly and push this down into place. So here we go. Here we go. Fasten your seatbelts. This is just ridiculously exciting. I know you're feeling exactly the same way as I am. So there we go. And I'm just making sure the regular pins are clearing the stump, so I don't have other issues later. I can lift it up and have a look here. Yeah, they're clearing the stump nicely. So there we go. That's the regulating pins on the outside, stump on the inside, and I can push straight down. I think it's probably already almost snug now. Just push that into place and then have a look. And it looks snug as a bug on a rug. And now, grab the this here, and I think it goes this way, like this. Because I can see where the witness mark is. I'm farting with this right now because it requires farting to do it properly. Good Lord. I think I may have done it. Hang on. I need to push that down a bit more. That is officially in, and I just want to make sure the edges are completely flat. And that's good. That's exactly where the witness mark was. Just move that out of the way and show you. So there it is there. It's in perfect condition, and the witness marks is still in the right place, and then the jewel is sitting down like that. So that's how it is installed. So there we go. That's installed properly with a jeweling set. And this little device that's part of my jeweling set is actually used to hold settings in place while you're working on the settings with the jeweling set. So that's together now. I just have to reinstall or put the screws back in, which shouldn't be that difficult, and then I have to take the balance with the hairspring and reinstall the stud in there. So I'll get on with that and be ready to install this in the watch. So I want to make sure I got to put the screws back in place. Just requires a bit of concentration, that's all. So I'll be back in a second. I figured I'd be keen and show you how I put the screw back in. So grab the screw. If you can grab it from the other side, you'd be better off. But anyway, grab the screw. Just rest it in the hole like this, and then get the right size screwdriver. And hold your breath while you put the screwdriver into the slot. And then tighten it up. You don't have to tighten it up too much, it just has to be snug so the screws are back in place. And we're ready to rock and roll. I forgot to videotape it, but I did put a little drop of oil on the top of that, so we're good to go. Alright, there we go, ladies and germs. It's back together, so in a good order. So anyway, I usually use my stereo microscope to put the hairspring stud back in and make sure the hairspring stud on the top is level. So it's level with the balance cock, because if it's not level with the balance cock, then the hairspring itself is not low enough. So from the balance cock, so it can be screwed up unless you do it that way. So that is what I do. So when I do it with my stereo microscope, and it's a hell of a lot easier to do it with that than any other thing I'd have. So now I can see if I can get this thing to tick, right? So in this case, you want to push the pallet fork. In this case, I want to push the pallet fork this way towards the center wheel, say, and then I'm going to enter the balance staff from that direction. So let me just get rid of the screw here. So put that over the side, and I just want to grab the balance like this, and then lift it up. It's all nice and clean. Hopefully everything works. And you want to enter it this way, like this, and then inside. So I'm going to do one thing before I do this. Just hang on one second. Here we go. Finish picking my nose. Now we're all ready to go. Just kidding. The regulator pins were, I set them very close to the, come on, get out of here. I set the regulator pins very close to the stud. That way I didn't have to go very far in doing this. So I just have to put it in this way, underneath the center wheel, like so. Get that thing in the right place, I think, and then rotate this down like that, and then hopefully it'll all fall into place. And it's not, so I just don't force it, take it back out again, and go for part two. Never, ever, ever force it. So let me see what side the pallet fork is on. It's still on the correct side. Okay, I'm going to go in this way again. I'll try to get that. There we go. Try to get the lower pivot as close to the hole as I can. So, and then when I drop the balance down, we're getting a little bit of action here. Just a little tiny bit of action. I'm going to see if I can move this around to get it going again. Oh, I know what's going on here. I think the hairspring is above. Is it better? Not much. Look at what's going on here. It's a little better, but not much. So I'm going to just screw this down for now, and then I'll figure out why the amplitude is so low. There was enough power on the mainspring, though. It shouldn't be the issue, right? So let me just look at this and see if Something wrong, something astray, askew. These old watches have such personality, I'm telling you. I'm not going to tighten that down yet, so just want to make sure there's anything foolish going on here. And let me just release this here and then see if I can give it a hand. Sometimes you do that and away it goes, but other times, not a chance. It's not really wanting to go anywhere. The Billy watch might need more work. Now, the other thing I've done in the past is I've taken the arm of the center wheel and just put a little tiny bit of pressure on the arm and see if it's that translation of power to the yeah, so it's ticking nicely there. So the whole thing might be a mainspring issue. Mainspring might not be strong enough to do its job. It might be off as well. I friggin' hate that friggin' watch making that noise. So, well, I was hoping this would come back to life, but it isn't really. So I'm going to put a little bit of oil on the arbor for the mainspring here. That's probably some friction going on there. It looks like it's moving a bit better now. Still very low amplitude, and I want to put a little bit of oil on the backside on the arbor because of the mainspring as well. It might be a problem there. So let me just get the oiler out and do a little bit of oiling on this side here. If I can get it running at a decent amplitude, I'll just let it run overnight and see where I end up at the end of the day. I have a sneaky suspicion I'll end up removing oil later on. But the day in the life of a watchmaker. Oh, look at that. It's starting to come to life. Slow but sure. And I'm talking slow but sure. These friggin' pivots are old. Or not the pivots, the brass on whatever, right? So that's coming to life. That's a lot better than it was a few minutes ago. And I don't know if again, I'm not sure if, let me just look at my winder here and see if I can get a little bit more of a wind. That's as far as it'll go. Look at that. Look at that. The Billy watch is alive. It's alive. It's alive. That's actually winding really nice. Not like Mr. Irish's watch is winding. I guess. So that's pretty darn good. I'm not sure if I'm going to try for like an amazing amplitude for this watch, but I think I will. Let's just bring this over like that. Let me just videotape it and see what kind of amplitude I'm getting off of it. And then I will see if I can reassemble the rest of it, and away we go, right? Let me just move this over again and do a slow-mo video. no need to talk while I'm doing that. And let's see what kind of swing I'm getting in this thing. Not a lot. It needs to run. It's going to need to run for a while. It's like a 180 degree swing on it, which is not great, but it's better than dead, which I think is good. So what I'll do is I'll let this thing run overnight, and I think I'll make a Billy video watch from this perspective, so you guys can see, you know, this thing in action. And as you saw, there's all kinds of fun challenges when you're putting a watch like this together, an old watch like this, and you can work your butt off and it can be a complete failure, or you can work your butt off and it can be a success. That's why when I do watch repairs for people, I need you to be super patient, because these old watches, if you want it running again, it takes some time and skill to work on it to see if you can, you know, enough elbow grease will cause this thing to come back to life. So this one is back to life, and I know my friend is not intending to walk around with it all the time, but I may ask him if he wants a new mainspring on it or what, because I could probably give it a little bit more power with another mainspring. But I'm not sure whether it's worth it or not, because it may just stay in a drawer for the next 20 years. But it's running now. It'll likely run better in the morning. If you look at it in the morning, it'll see that it's running even better. So I'm missing my oiler cap here somewhere, wherever that is. So I am looking forward to the morning where I can see this thing operating, and is it going to work or not, right? So anyway, that's it for now. It's 5 o'clock my time. It's a Saturday, so thank you very much. My name is JD. So thanks for watching my channel. Let me know whether you appreciate my videos. I do appreciate making them, and I will catch you on the flip-flop. I'll see you next time. This next video will probably be a reassembly of the Billy watch, and we'll go from there. So thanks a lot, and have a good day and stay safe.